Alright, real quick, I want to go over basic boxing techniques for MMA or NHB. From your stance, you're going to be your hands up, your 2 and your 8, okay, slight bend in the knees, and for the jab, your lead hand, you're going to rock off of your back foot, and you're going to do a slight step with your forward foot. You're going to try to time the impact of that lead punch with the impact of that lead foot when it comes down. It doesn't have to be a big step. You don't have to get into doing a huge, haymaker and hop. You just a little rock and a little step and right back. Okay? So you're going to fire from your hip though. It's going to come up through your hip, through your toe, through your leg, through your hip, fire that side out, and it should come back faster than it goes out to create a pop or a snap at the end of the punch. So slow motion, it's going to be there and then back. You want to, there's different understandings of how to turn your hand while you're punching. Both are effective. Turning it over like this, I've seen some people say you got to turn it over like that. I've seen others say to keep it straight like that. So all three are effective. Technical boxing is to get it turned over. So it's basically going from this position almost 90 degrees to a horizontal or a lateral to a horizontal. So that's the basic, that's the technique for boxing. I will sometimes throw it like that to get it to go between their hands if their guard is up, because it's harder to slip through when I have it turned horizontally. But the technique is to step, small step, and to turn that hand over horizontally. I like to tell people to keep this elbow from popping out until the last second. Actually, you don't want it to pop at all. It shouldn't start turning until right at the end. Okay? The reason for that is if I start turning it back here, they can see it a mile away. Jab is supposed to be an elusive strike. It's supposed to be a distance finder, something you can just poke and prod at your opponent with. And if you don't pop that elbow, throw it from the shoulder and hip, bring it up and twist it at the end. So there's a lot less telegraphing in it. And breathe also at the same time. So you can practice 5-minute round of throwing the jab with the breath, and here's what it's going to look like full speed. Okay, so you can work that. And then your cross is going to come from your back leg. Again, there's going to be a slight step with your lead foot, just a little one. You're going to rock off that back foot, and you're going to use your hip to pop it out. Boom. And I tell people to reach with their hip. Don't reach with your shoulder, but extend your hip out there and let your hip grab cover the distance for you. So you're not getting caught out here where my shoulders are over my lead knee and now I'm really off balance. Whenever you're striking, you want to try and keep that foot in front of you, keep your shoulders behind your lead knee. If you need more distance, bend that leg out to reach, okay, or squat down almost to get a little more distance, and then pop that hip out. That way you stay balanced when you're reaching. Don't get bent over like this. You're off balance. So when you're throwing the cross, it's going to go, again, small step, and this foot is going to push it through, okay? And your hip is going to twist, and your hip's going to pop it out there, alright? Same thing with the elbow. Don't get it turned out here to telegraph it. You want it firing straight from your side. And your lead hand should come back, cover your face while you're throwing it, okay? So full speed. You can do 5-minute rounds of the cross. Okay? So then you got your hooks. And basically a hook, your arm is going to do this. I get a little bit of an outward motion when I throw it to get a better whipping power on it. I try to swing my shoulder through first to create a whip. Okay? So I'll throw my leg, twist for my foot. I'll throw that around just like I'm slamming a door. Okay? And then let my shoulder and my arm follow. But from here, it's going to come up and across there. Make sure you breathe when you're throwing. Every time it contracts your abdominals, your diaphragm, and generates more power from your center. So When you throw that, you're going to get that just like you're slamming a door. Okay, so pop it up and over. Up and over. You want to make sure this is like a 90-degree angle coming through. Okay, the power is going to come from your hips and legs, from your body pulling that punch through. Pull it straight across. Okay, so full speed. You can do a 5-minute round. Make sure you get right back into your guard. Okay, now the rear hook. Again, these are going to come when you're a lot closer. Okay, hooks are not, these type of hooks, they're not a reaching or a looping hook, so they're going to be when you're tight. You're not going to have a whole lot of reach on these, but they're going to be very, very powerful. So your rear hook, same thing. You're going to twist. That hand's going to turn at that 90. You're going to keep that 90, and you're going to drive through with your hips. 5-minute round. Keeping your guard up, make sure you're keeping your stance tight. Okay, and you got good power going into those punches. Next is the shovel hook. Shovel hook is a 45 up. It's like a cross between an uppercut and a hook. You're going right in the middle. Okay, and these are really good for body shots. And if you get someone hanging their head and you can sneak going through, you're good for that too. But same thing, you're going to twist on that foot and go to the body. Okay, notice I get a little bit of a tilt to this direction before I throw it, because typically I'm not gonna necessarily lead with this punch. You can if you want. I just have found that it works better if I throw, say, a cross and then come with a shovel hook to get them thinking high, then go low. Okay, but the point is, it comes in on this 45 foot twist, same as the hook, only you're twisting upward versus straight across. Alright, so you can do a 5-minute round of that, holding your stance, work footwork, move around, you know, throw them hard. Okay, keeping the elbows tight. Now rear shovel hook, same thing, coming on that 45. Again, you're going to be in tight with this because it's your back hand. There's not going to be a lot of reach on it because you're keeping a bend in your arm. You're not reaching, so you're going to be tight when you're throwing these. So you want to remember, it's better to set it up with a headshot than go body. But just for the purpose of basic technique, coming up on that 45, twisting that rear foot just like you were with the hook, and you're trying to stack the ribs. Ribs they come down at this angle. You're trying to hit that last rib and stack them all the way to the center. Okay, and on this side, on my opponent's right side, is going to be their liver. So I'm trying to hit that liver. You take a good liver shot and that's it. There's no recovering. It's going to take you quite a while to get back from that. So again, get that twist, work a 5-minute round. Okay, and make sure you keep your hands tight, keep them up, keep your guard tight, because whatever habits you form while you're training these things, you're going to have in the ring. So make sure you're keeping your guard when you're throwing all this stuff. Okay, so now the uppercut is going to be a little bit further turn than that 45. You're going to come all the way under here. A lot of times when you catch someone with their head down, or if they have their guard tight like this, you can sneak right up through here. Okay, or if they get down here, you can sneak it between. And a lot of times I'll throw it sometimes like this, where it's almost on a lateral plane instead of twisting it over, so I can sneak my hand between their hands. Because a lot of times when you get it turned this way, it'll catch their forearms when it's going through. But again, whatever you can do to get it through, there's different schools of thought on how to turn. Boxing technique, the technical way to throw it is to get it turned like that. But in a fight, it might have to go like that. It's not always going to be the exact way that you were taught. It's going to be a little different when people start getting hit. So you're going to be in your stance, back leg. You're going to generate the power for your backhand or your rear uppercut. Front leg is going to generate the power for the front or lead uppercut. Okay, so you're in your stance. It's going to be a slight crouch. Again, I like to load it up, boom, because these are more power shots. They're when you're close, and they're finishing shots. So generally you'll start with your straights, working in, then you'll get in for the hooks and the uppercuts when you're tight. But when you're in there, you're going to twist on that foot, generate that power, and it's going to go up. Okay? So you can work a 5-minute round. Make sure you get back to your guard. Just throwing uppercuts. And the rear, same thing. Right along that path, you're going to twist that with your hips, your foot, up. Okay? Pushing up, you can almost get a little squat and drive your legs and hips through. Again, make sure you're keeping shoulders behind your lead knee so that you're generating power. If you have to extend it a little bit to get a little reach on it, that's fine. Don't get too crazy because you start getting out here and tear your bicep. If you're hitting way out on that distance, it gets pretty hard on the elbow and the bicep. So those are your basic strikes. I don't think I'm missing anything. You got so do a 5-minute round jab, 5-minute round of cross, 5-minute round of hooks, 5-minute round of shovel hooks, the 45 up, and then 5-minute round of uppercuts.